Happy New Year. Almost. Any questions?
Wes, Sam had a lot of success when running no huddle. I guess what makes him successful in those situations, and I guess how challenging is it for the quarterback when you're asking him to, not huddle up?
Sometimes the no huddle, I think, it just gives guys a little more comfort even than some of the play calls, the huddle calls, some of the schemed up longer verbiage type calls. You just get up there, the guys, everybody knows it. You don't really get a chance to overanalyze anything. You just get up the line and snap it, and it's obviously core plays that everybody knows. And you actually find that a lot with a lot of the skill guys coming into the league too. Is a lot of times they've been used to no huddle offenses and code words and all those types of things for most of their career playing in college. So they come in and they kind of learn those sometimes faster than some of those huddle calls getting in there. But yeah, they've done a nice job getting up to the line, and other times too you can get some more kind of regulated defensive calls as well that can help with some of those plays where maybe you're not allowing them to get into some exotic pressures. We've done some tempo going into third downs as well, which has been beneficial for us in that aspect.
What was going through your mind while that ball kind of hung in there, the Cam Akers?
Just like everybody else. He caught it. Yeah, I saw the little clip of Kevin, and yeah, I was feeling the same way. And I told Cam, I said, man, that was a great catch, Cam. And he said, Coach, I got pillow hands. So. He does have soft hands, catches the ball well. So just a great play by him to finish off the game.
Wes, we've talked a lot about Cam and just like the energy he brings. How much does that help? I mean, you don't need it this week, but like through the slog of a season to have a guy like that who brings it up.
Yeah, I think the more guys you have in the building that love football is going to help you in some shape, some form or fashion on any football team. I mean, the more guys that just have a passion and enthusiasm for the game, practice, love being around the guys, love being around their teammates. Ty Chandler gets in there and has some runs, and you can see him on the coach's copy. You can see Cam being the one going down the sideline, clapping and just being fired up for him. It's just, you love to see it as a coach, but you just love to have guys like that as part of your team.
Why do you think this team is as connected as it seems to be, at least from the outside? Why do you think that is?
I think some of it's luck, some of it's Kevin. The culture that has been built here when you have someone like Kevin from the top down, but some of it's guys that were here before we got here. Other guys, it's guys that Kevin and Kwesi and all of us have talked about and brought in and to become a part of this culture. It's just a mix of a lot of things, and I do think once you have kind of a culture established and the right kind of guys, you can onboard guys that even may not be quite as good in other situations, in other environments. Guys come in and they just see that, hey, this is a good thing here, and anybody who's kind of not on board just sticks out like a sore thumb. And I've seen that in a couple places I've worked, and it's kind of how it is here. If you're not a part of it, and or not as much of a team guy, you're going to stick out in this environment.
One more on Cam Akers. You were with him before he got hurt, right?
Yes.
So is there any difference in his demeanor or appreciation for the game or anything along those lines between that, the way he was before he had the injuries and the way he is now?
I feel like Cam's been the same since the moment we were with him as a rookie. And just, it speaks a lot about him that he was able to go through some of those injuries and come back within the same season, having an Achilles injury when we were with him in LA. And, you saw the kind of work that he was putting in on the side, and we got the reports of his progression and kind of physically kind of unique as far as being able to come back and have the kind of strength and athleticism to play running back in the NFL with that kind of injury. So, but yeah, he's always had that love, that passion for the game and for being around his teammates.
As a coach, you wonder how a guy is going to come back from two of those, a running back, and be effective still?
Absolutely. I don't know that it's really been done where anyone's had any real success doing that. I mean, he's kind of the trailblazer, and not that he would want to be, but he's kind of shown the way, I think, for other guys who have an injury like that, and hopefully not two of them, but have an injury like that they can come back and be productive and make plays in football games.
Wes, what have the last few weeks looked like for J.J. McCarthy now that he's able to, his rehab is past the point where he can't be on the field, now that he's a little more physically able to be around and things? What does that look like for him being part of meetings, part of practices? What's his development look like there?
Yeah, he it hasn't really felt like he hasn't been around, because when he is around, you notice him, and he's got a great personality, and he's not going to let you walk past him without saying something or telling you about an article he read or a book he's reading or so he just got a great way about him, and he's still going to be part of all this and a part of our meetings and practice, and talked to him this morning. How you doing, Coach? Hey, we're just trying to put a good game plan together. And he said, "Oh, I can't wait to see it." And he's got a love for it, and he's all about it. I know he's working a lot extra. Everything he's able to do, he's doing that, and guys trying to hold him back a little bit, make sure he's not going too far. But he's anxious to obviously get back and truly. Get into the practice aspect of it, but he's been all in. He's done everything he can to help that group in the role that he's in.
What do you think that having a front row seat to a team that's got 14 wins and playing for a first round bye does for him, just to see that and absorb that type of an experience as a rookie?
I think it's better than watching a losing team. The connectedness of the team, seeing some of the close games, obviously one-score games, seeing kind of how this league really is, I think is good for anyone. You just gotta understand when you're a rookie and it's the first time you're involved in it. They're not all like this. And it's hard to do. So, you hear guys tell stories about, hey, my first year we went to the Super Bowl or we went to the championship game, and I thought we'd be back there every year. You have that expectation. You gotta cherish these opportunities, the opportunity to play in a game like we're playing on Sunday night. Those things are earned, and you got to appreciate the moments because they don't always come around.
Hey, Wes, if someone asked you what Sam Darnold's personality is like behind the scenes, what would you tell them?
I've said it before. Like he's just a good dude. He's a good guy. He's likable. He's good sense of humor. He's one of the guys. Like hangs with the guys. Guy type of guy. Yeah. Is that funny? Guy's guy?
Type of guy.
Yeah, guy's guy, type of guy. Not everyone's a guy's guy. But yeah, his teammates gravitate towards him. I think you see that, with just how happy everyone is for him, and obviously knowing his path, to get to this point. But he's worked. He's done everything he can to put himself in this position, and we're all happy for him and proud of him.
Yeah, Wes, why do you think the pass protection just went so well on Sunday?
The guys up front did a heck of a job. I think each week has its own challenges based on personnel, and sometimes not even personnel. It's just this guy against that guy maybe matches up better than you think, or not as well as you think sometimes. Sometimes a great player, I can think back to certain rushers in this league where you were really worried about them, and a certain tackle that I've been with just treats them, like they were any other guy, and then certain guys that maybe you weren't as concerned about, and they beat your left tackle, 3 times for sacks in a game. Sometimes it's just those kind of individual matchups, but those guys have worked to become a unit. There's been a little change up front, obviously, in a couple spots there. And the more time a group plays together, the more communication. I think Sam has been great with some of the protection adjustments that he's had to make up front, along with Garrett kind of running the show there. He made some good protection adjustments in this game, communication to the back so the back knows what's going on, and kind of get us in a more advantageous scheme to block up some of the pressures that we got and give Sam some good pockets.
How have you seen Sam grow in that front, just in terms of commanding everything he's already on his plate, and then on top of that, the protection stuff?
Well, you better know the protections first and foremost as a quarterback, and you got to know who they can bring where they're not going to be blocked, and if there's a fix for it, which we try to have some fixes, unless it's a zero pressure where they're bringing everybody. You want to get to those things so that you can have a chance to look down the field and make those throws. But yeah, it's been a process. I mean, there's a lot that goes on the quarterback's plate, especially if you're calling a couple plays in the huddle, which happens across this league quite a bit. These guys have a lot on their plate. You got motions, you got maybe a second play that I'm getting to, and then I have to still motion a guy, and I got to make sure I'm good with the protection. It takes a lot of study on the front end to make it look simpler when they get out there and play.
Wes, Kevin talked recently about Bobby McCain's value on the scout defense and some of the communication he has. In your eyes, how valuable is it to have Bobby operating in that role? And then just as a whole, what kind of job has the scout defense done in preparing the offense each week?
Yeah, I've told some of the guys, on that side of the ball that this, I've been in the league for a good while now, and this has been the best look team group that I've been a part of since I've been in the league. We were fortunate to have some vets over there at times, Bobby being one of them. We had Fabian over there for a while, Fabian Moreau. We've got guys that give great effort up front, Bo Richter's and Levi's and Redmond, who's now showing what he can do in games. I think these things do correlate. You got young guys, Jay Wards and Nudie and all these guys that have just given great effort, great looks. They have scout team meetings where some of our coaches running the scout team are trying to tell them this is how they play. We want them to be able to work their technique as much as possible, but there are going to be some differences in the way teams play certain coverages, whether it's zone, man, leverages, all those types of things, and those guys have tried to give us every look possible, and like I said, it's been the best group that I've been a part of.
What's the key to being good at that as a look team?
I think you have to, and I didn't mention a bunch of guys, so, all you guys doing a great job. Don't want anyone to feel left out. But, I think there's an understanding of a lot of guys will say, well, they just do it the way that they're coached in their defense, and there are times where you have to say, or sometimes it doesn't make sense to you, or sometimes they've never played that coverage before. It doesn't make sense. Why would I be outside Larry? And it's like, hey, watch the tape. To take a look. I'll show it to you if you want me to. This is how they play. And you have to be a little bit unselfish there, just to, and you also have to understand that sometimes we're trying to get looks, and if you're just gonna not give effort or play way underneath a guy when he runs vertical and he's coming back to the ball, and you're just standing underneath him because you didn't give effort on the play. I've been around guys in the past that aren't that interested in giving looks, whether it's they don't even, they're a special teams guy, they don't care about defense, or whether they feel like it's above, below them a little bit. They're above, kind of being on the look team. But most of the best pros, I saw it really early on when I was first in Dallas. I remember some of the young guys were playing in the preseason, and we had some of our starters giving them looks. And it was the cleanest offensive operation. Guys were up there, they're looking at the card, they got lined up exactly where they're supposed to be, everybody, and it just told me something about just kind of how you do things, how you are as a pro. And generally the guys that do give you great looks are the guys that are in the right spots, trying to do things, give you feedback. Like Bobby gives, are the guys that, when they get opportunities in the game, end up making plays. All right. Thanks.